Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and I want to talk about Superman Legacy because Superman Legacy is starting to do, I guess, casting or whatever. And the rumor mill is that James Gunn is looking for a black actor to play Lex Luthor because the Lex Luthor that's going to be introduced is going to be Apex Lex Luthor, which obviously really doesn't make any logical sense because that character is brand new and that character is a fusion of Lex Luthor and Martian Manhunter. But sure, why not? Let's jump to a final form of Lex Luthor without building that up at all. And it's also rumors that a few other DC superheroes will be appearing in Superman Legacy movie. So remember how everybody was upset that, oh, Zack Snyder was rushing everything and stuff like that, and how all of these characters are now in an established universe already without us building up to it. Well, James Gunn seems like he's doing the same thing. Now, these are rumors that from the Hollywood Reporter reports about that kind of stuff. So it's kind of weird that we're having a movie and a Superman movie, and in that Superman movie we're about to introduce so many heroes and characters. Yes, we're going to get Lois Lane, we're going to get I think Ma and Pa Kent, but we're going to also get established superheroes already in this world. So it's kind of like one of those things was like, well, okay, I thought you guys wanted to build up the universe, even though after, you kind of reboot the universe. So it's even crazier. And now, not even that, is that now people are upset because David Zaslav walked away with $39 million that he paid for himself for the company. But right now, the executives aren't all that happy. They're not pleased with everything that he's done so far for the DC, for Warner Brothers anyway, getting rid of certain things or whatever. And then, this whole thing with the whole Henry Cavill thing, which I still think till this day is still a mistake that is going to hurt the new DC universe. Like, as much as people want to talk about, oh, it doesn't matter, Henry Cavill was too old or whatever, blah, 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 or we don't want part of Zack Snyder's stuff. It's kind of like you still had an A-lister. What A-lister are you going to get that's going to bring people's butts into the seat? You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to get somebody who looks like Superman, and that's something that they haven't really thought about getting nobody to do, which is kind of sad because you already had somebody that could easily be Superman, but you said hell no because you want to go this other route. Then you want to get like some 70-something-year-old man to play Batman when you already had Ben Affleck playing Batman. Like, you get what I'm saying? So it's just kind of one of those weird things where you don't want to do middle of the road, but you don't want to go older road neither. But I don't know. I just think it's kind of weird, honestly. It's just kind of crazy to see what's going on right now with the DC universe, honestly. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's a different story, a different change. But who knows how any of this stuff is going to work out for the Superman Legacy stuff. I just think it's kind of a weird choice, honestly. But I mean, hell, what do I know, right? I'm just a fan of the characters who don't really know much about nothing, apparently. So, you do you, but I just kind of find it pretty funny that they're able to do stuff like this, and that's being approved. So now we got the talking Superdog, we got maybe a few heroes showing up, and that's really cool or dandy. That's not getting criticized. But then if somebody else do it, like Snyder, it's a problem. I just kind of find it very hypocritical of everybody to make excuses, and the fact that HBO Max isn't really doing all that well like they were, because people are walking away from it, and then people are walking away from these movies. Well, it wasn't really smart to announce, hey, we're going to reboot the DC universe, but we got about 5 DC movies that we guys want you to see, but we're still doing Elseworld stories, but we're just not going to do the Snyder stuff. Like, that's a slap in the face to everybody else. Then you have the cancellation of Stargirl, the final season of Flash, and then you have the final season of Titans and Doom Patrol as well. Then you got what's the darn thing called, Superman and Lois and Gotham Knights, that they don't know if they're going to renew them for a second season or a fourth season, but Superman and Lois might get moved to HBO Max, which that's great and all, but I mean, I don't know. I just kind of find it very strange, odd, of the choices that Warner Brothers have been making. it's like every time they have something good, they panic because at the sign of any little small criticism, it's just like, well, if that's the case and you scared of that, you'll never be able to succeed. You know what I'm saying? Like, just hey, let's try to do something that people actually want. Like Young Ripper has said, the mistake of these comic book movies is trying to cater to the normie audience. You don't cater to the normie audience. You cater to the actual fans of the stuff. If normies want to watch it, that's great and all. But your target audience should be your comic book fans because they're more loyal than your fans that are your normie audience. Because right now, if you look at the same thing with James Gunn stuff, everybody want to talk about how amazing he is, but his audience is flaky as hell because they'll say all day long that, oh my God, his movies are amazing or whatever, and crickets when it's time to come. You know what I'm saying? Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, maybe Volume 2, but Volume 3 is still underperforming. Peacemaker was hot garbage, and the Suicide Squad wasn't good neither. Nobody knows anything about Super. So, I mean, clearly the man isn't all that great. But why people are also talking about how terrible Zack Snyder movies are. Okay, great. Zack Snyder's movies are terrible. But yet when that man tells people about his movies, or when he makes an announcement for a movie or a show or whatever, he instantly gets people hyped. People buy the merchandise. People still show up. And people still want to talk about the movie star failure. I'm sorry, as a WB executive, I would have been like, no, we're going to go with Snyder stuff. It doesn't matter if I like it or not. We're talking about money-wise. We're talking about how can he bring an audience in. James has not proven to bring an audience in. You know what I'm saying? Because all people can talk about, well, he did Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 was pretty good. Volume 2, nobody talks about. And Volume 3 is underperforming, even with good word of mouth. So really, what you got, because Suicide Squad still failed at the box office, Peacemaker didn't make a splash neither. So I'm just trying to figure out how you think that this is a good idea. And now we're doing the Superman Legacy movie where we're talking about bringing in the Apex Lex Luthor, and we're trying to get a black person to play Lex Luthor. Are you fucking kidding me? Even though there's rumors of James Coulson and Nicholas Hoult also as Superman and Lex Luthor. So I don't know. It's just one of those weird kind of things like, oh my God, what are we going to do here? I just kind of figure out like, y'all need to figure out something because this is absolutely ridiculous at this point. You know? Like, what are we doing right now? You need to figure out something now, and you need to figure it out like ASAP Rocky, because you'll always be criticized for getting rid of Henry Cavill. Like, you'll never get anybody to get past that. There's going to be people who are, but for the most part, people are going to be like, you should have just stuck with Henry Cavill, or you should have stuck with Ben Affleck, you should have stuck with Gal Gadot as the characters. Like, as long as they were still able to move and play the characters, you should have kept them, especially Henry Cavill, who has so much passion for the character. And that's what I'm worried about. Like, I'm worried about that they're not going to be able to find an actor, or even if they do find an actor, they can make a movie, but then the movie might not even do well because people are just over it. You betrayed your customer base and stuff like that. You already got people who was upset about the Batgirl cancellation, and then you get rid of Henry Cavill, and then that's the first thing James Gunn does as the executive of DC Studios, and then he makes a lackluster announcement. Yeah, it looks good and all, but it didn't get nobody excited. You know what I'm saying? Because if I was an executive, I'd be like, what the hell is this crap? Ain't nothing that you talking about is exciting enough. We're trying to get Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, The Flash, Aquaman, Martian Manhunter, the faces of the DC Universe, the face of the Justice League. We're trying to get them together, not all of these other bullshit ass characters. Authorities, Amanda Waller, Peacemaker Season 2, Booster Gold, Themyscira. Like, who the hell cares about this stuff? You got to get Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman correct first. I don't know. I just think it's a weird decision choices for Superman Legacy. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm glad that Jimmy Olsen's going to be there. I'm glad that Lois Lane, Perry, Metropolis, and we're going to see more of Daily Planet. But it's just kind of like, if the rumors are that Lex Luthor is going to transform into Apex Lex Luthor, and instead of Lex Luthor being a white guy, he's going to be black. I just don't know. I don't know, because the race swapping thing is already crazy enough, and then you're talking about bringing in crypto, so he's going to be a distraction like you did with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, if you're turning Superman Legacy into an ensemble piece, I don't know how that's going to work. That's just my opinion on that whole situation. I don't know. That's just how I feel when it comes to the situation. But those are my thoughts. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.